Hi everybody, and welcome to this Microsoft Flight Simulator video. Today, we're checking out something cool. This is the MV-22B Osprey. Now the Osprey was a development between Bell and Boeing, which basically brought the characteristics of a helicopter and a turboprop into one single airframe. This aircraft is coming to us in Microsoft Flight Simulator by a developer called Miltech Simulations. Now, you may have noticed that name. These guys brought us the Lexington and the George Bush carriers already into the sim, and the developer has delved 2 feet first, eyes wide open, kicking and screaming into aircraft development. And well, what a project to start the ball rolling. It looks incredible. Those massive propellers and what they sit on, they're called nacelles. Well, it's all part of the tilt rotor system. Custom modeling, custom flight model, custom sounds, custom systems, custom everything. This thing is fantastic. So with today, we're just going to have a very quick look at it. It's still in development. If you see anything kind of mad and wonderful, but don't worry, the developer is still hard at work. And they're hoping also to bring an expansion pack to this aircraft. They're going to include an amphibious group. This is a multi-role aircraft. I mean, giving you the characteristics of a helicopter and a turboprop, so that's STOL and VTOL capable. Bringing it a entire amphibious mode, well, it just kind of shows how versatile this aircraft actually is. So as you can see from the model work on the outside, it looks like an Osprey. Texture work here seems to be on point, and it's going to ship with 8 handcrafted custom liveries. As I said, it's mainly used in the United States, and I think the Japanese Defense Forces have this as well. Now, talking about systems, there are many. Everything from the flight characteristics to the startup, to some of the tracking and navigation systems, but also some of the most amazing will be how the tilt rotor actually operates. You see, you're looking at this thing thinking, hey, there's no ground clearance, there's no way we can start this aircraft like this. You would be correct. We have to tilt the rotors. And then maybe 1 or 2 of you are thinking, hey, this is kind of big and bulky to be on an aircraft carrier. How do they get around that? Well, the developer has you covered there as well. They've completely built custom animations and systems that will rotate, fold, and secure the tilt rotors. This thing is Transformers. It just is. So we're going to jump into the cockpit and take a closer look from the inside. So, welcome to the cockpit. And as you can see, there's a lot of glass, isn't there? We got an overhead panel, loads of switches, loads of buttons, and let's hope we don't break things. So for this, I'm going to jump into the right seat, and as we can see, everything is grand, it's clear. Model work here seems on point. There's nice reflections here in the windows. It looks very, very nice indeed. We even have a jump seat there behind us, look. Absolute class. So looking at our overhead, a couple of things we need to keep track of over here. So if we move up, we can see we have our battery systems, we have an APU, we have engine controls, similar to what you'd have in a chopper. You have a rotor brake, you have your crank start, and then fly mode for both of your engines or nacelles, and then you have lighting over here on the right hand side. It also has fire suppression and extinguishers. And then looking down here, we have some radio controls, we have communication controls, and then we have our center console. And in here, this is kind of the brains of it. You can see you have this FMS system, but on it, it has tons of more capabilities. So to get ourselves started, oh yeah, you've one control here as well. This is like throttle collective general gadget that does all the work, right? Now the aircraft, as I said, it's using custom coding. So in order to tilt the nacelles as per the real aircraft, see this roller ball ring thing here? Well, that's what the real pilots use. For us in Flight Sim, we have to bind controls to be able to tilt the rotors, and what the developer has set them up as is cowl flap number 4, increase and decrease. So you just need to find a pair of switches. On my HOTAS, I'm using like a little rocker switch to do it, and it works out really, really well. So to get ourselves started, you need to hear some of the sounds. We're just going to turn on the battery switch. Now straight away, the sounds you're hearing, they be the flaps. They automatically go into the down position prior to startup. And as we were saying earlier on, Murph, there's no way we're going to start this thing with no ground clearance. Yet to be correct, we need to tilt these guys up here. Now we can't do that just on battery power alone. We're going to need an APU. So if we jump back up here, we have an APU system. So we're going to flick this onto run. So the APU is now starting to power up. You'll notice that our screens are still turned off, but we turn these on manually. We just flick the switch on the top left hand corner of all the displays. Now we're just waiting for APU power to come on. So we go ahead and click run. Some internal lights here, have some nice background lights. The lighting on this thing is superb. So here's all our screens up and running. Our master alert is just telling us that the engines are off and our RPM is low. That's quite okay. Now, moving along our screens, we got to check out some stuff. I'm not going to go too much into what these all do. There's a couple of items that are kind of grayed out or blanked out just while the developer keeps working on it. But there's a switch down here. It says LTS. That's for your lights. So we're going to turn our lights on. Strobes are going to turn on. Position lights onto both. Position lights will be on flash. External lights. It has tip lights. Now what it means by tip lights, it actually has small little lights on the rotors. It looks so futuristic, it's insane, but it is done in the real world. So we'll leave them off for the moment, we'll put on our formation lights, and our landing gear goes onto auto. So that's our lights pretty much set up. Now, to move us on our PFDs or MFDs or whatever way we call them, we have multiple options. And you see the way like there's a line through them, but the developer is still working on these. We have our FLIR mode, so we could turn on your overview map, but also then your... Put it in the chat, I always forget the name. Isn't it like something view? Synthetic something? Let me know in the thing. Anyway, that's what that does. But if we go to systems, you have this BFWS, because you might be saying, well, how do you actually fit this thing on an aircraft carrier? If, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to go through the animations here, and all the systems are automated. So we click on the BFWS, and I want to fully stow everything. This is going to look mad. So we're going to start the process. So we're going to click full stow, initialization, rock, or rotor lock, and so on and so forth. So with initialization, just look at the beauty. Isn't it fantastic looking? This is straight out of Transformers, lads. Now it's asking me to do the rotor lock. Here's a button for the rotor lock. We'll go ahead and press that. And you can see that the rotor will start moving until it locks into position. The sounds are incredible. The animations are spot on. The movement and everything, it matches the aircraft. It's class looking. Now we jump back in, it'll say sequence is now complete. Isn't that brilliant? Now we also have some controls here for our doors. We can open up all these. That includes the ramp at the rear of the aircraft as well. There's a ramp coming down. They have modeled the interiors. You can see where all the jump seats are. Fantastic. Let's have a side door here as well. It also comes with the Marine 1. Is it Marine 1? But the Marine 1 livery as well. So like, imagine trying to get this thing down behind the White House. I mean, do you know what I'm saying? Loads of fun is going to be had. Okay, let's go flight ready. So now we have our flaps coming up. And it's all automated. I mean, you can just sit here and play with the thing. Bit of Transformers music. You're going to do it. I did it. That's so cool looking, isn't it? Like the animations here, they're absolutely spot on. They're so fluid. It just looks incredible, right? So we're going to wait for a sequence complete, which it is. That's the flaps coming back down again. Perfect. So what we'll do, we're going to close up all our doors. And this indicator here, this fella, this is your friend. This is showing you the angle of rotation that the nacelles are at. So I can now manually adjust these. So I have the key, or the button, it's bound to my HOTAS. I actually have a rocker switch that'll do cowl flaps number 4, increase or decrease, depending on what it is I want to do, right? So I can move them fairly easily if I want to. So I'm going to bring them up to around 90 degrees, and then we're going to start the engines. And we'll stop it there. So, to start up this machine here, well, we go up here, and we have our engine controls. So we're going to flick these onto crank. And before I do that, I want to make sure rotor lock is off. Perfect. We go back to our PFD. Let's have a look here. If we have a look at our status here, we can also see our systems and where everything is. Nav. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. So all our engine information is going to appear on this main screen here. So we're going to start it up. There's crank. And there's start. So you can hear the engines come alive. You can see rotation on NG. If you jump outside, you're going to see them starting to move. Weird animation on this one. What the story is that, I wonder? There we go. So again, as I said, if you see something kind of weird and wonderful, this is still work in progress. So we won't worry about that too much. We will let the developer know about it though. Those sounds. Sweet. So we're going to go into flight mode. With everything up and running, it's now time to turn off the APU. Incredible sounds, guys. Absolutely incredible. Now, there's other things at play here as well. You got to be careful how you treat the engines. It can't withstand maximum power for too long. You got to be very careful. So our poor old nacelle on the right hand side, it's just not happy about things, but we won't let that worry us. So what we're going to do, we're going to try and start moving this machine here. So again, it's still work in progress. You might see some weird jittery and jumping around. We'll try not to worry too much. So I'm going to use this in a full, you know, VTOL capacity. We just want to take off like it's a chopper. So we're just going to go power it in. There we go. Little bit abrupt, keeping an eye on the NG power. Ugh, don't hit the ground, Murph. This is so strange being able to do this. So we push our joystick forward a little bit. That'll help us start picking up forward momentum. And as we do this, we can slowly start lowering those nacelles. Now this takes quite a bit of getting used to. So nacelles coming down, we got to keep it in that green arc. That green arc is going to move and it's going to show you what you're doing. So gear up. Our speed is now already 140 knots. This thing can move. We're around 20% on the angle. Have a quick look there visually. Let's lower these guys completely. We should get a little bit of a judder. There we go. And now we are in a normal flying mode. Look at this thing. So as we're flying along, we can keep an eye once again on our engine pressure, NG, MGT, the whole shebang. And as you can see from the avionics, well, everything's working very, very fluidly. There's no worries with, you know, how crisp or sharp the textures are. Everything looks to be absolutely spot on here. And cruise speed on this, you know, easily it's going to get about 250 knots. Now, I dare try it. Will we try and get the thing down? There's a ship over there, which I think is included as the amphibious models pack, or the expansion pack. So let's check out what we can do here. So with my speed coming down, I'm now going to start increasing or rotating those nacelles. So we can see that judder, that's letting us know that they're starting to move. And it's all about power. You got to be so careful because this thing will just drop out of the sky. So I've now brought them up to about 30%. You can see them there beside us. Bring them up another little bit. That will absolutely have an impact on our forward momentum, but we just got to be careful of our vertical situation. Huzzah! There is an aircraft carrier. We're going to try and put it down on that. This could go terribly wrong. Total disclaimer, I'm not a real Osprey pilot. Really? Are you sure? I'm telling you, after you fly this thing, you're going to feel like you are. So there's the carrier in which we want to land. Let's just check out the gear animation here as we lower the landing gear. Beautiful. Very, very nice indeed. So let's just try and, you know, concentrate and do the thing that we're trying to do. So you can see that speed being bled off, keeping our height or our vertical speed somewhere kind of level. And as we increase the angle of our tilt rotors, you'll see that green bar move along to it. Now this takes so much practice. There's every chance I'm going to make a complete hames of this, and you got to be careful of your speed as well. If you go too fast, it'll break. There's Microsoft having a bit of a glitch, but don't worry about the glitches. Let's just see if we can do the thing. There we go. LOD is now working. So bring those tilt rotors up a bit more.
Sink rate, sink rate, sink rate.
It's shouting at us, lads. Bring the power up here, Murphy. Up, you devil you. Right, I've pretty much just put it into rotate or auto hover. Speaking of which, the systems will include full auto hover capabilities to kind of take the workload away from you. So I need to see, can I actually do the thing here now? I haven't tried this before. So we're going to keep the rotors at 90%, just like a helicopter. We're going to see now, can we actually push the thing forward to try and land? This could take many hours. Now, for anyone who's ever had to land on an aircraft carrier before, I'm pretty sure you don't approach it from the side. But sure, listen, it's me. I'll get away with it. Do you know? I'll do the silly things so you don't have to. So it's kind of looking alright-ish, isn't it? It's a lot easier to land one of these on a carrier than it is a 7.3. Anyway, let's go over to here. I wonder, can we land it on the lift? Take our time here now. It's somewhere between, you know, a chopper and a plane. Like, the characteristics, they're so different. They're so different. And they're really, really nice. There's a serious hardware on the deck of this machine. Right, let's see what we can do here. Just as well it's not moving, lads. Could you imagine? Easy, easy. We're so close. Do you ever do helicopter flying in the sim and you're like, we're so close, just jump out. Just jump forward, it'll be fine. Easy now. Easy, easy. Go on, you devil, go forward. Don't miss the thing! Forward a bit. Jeez, we're so close. We're so close. We can even smell what they're cooking in the galley. Easy now. Easy, easy. Oh, touchdown. Oh no, it's not going well. Hang on. Keep her straight, Murph. Keep her straight. There we go. And now drop her. Oh, yes. Put the brakes on. Stop us from moving. Quick look outside. Ha! Great success! Reported the brig. You will be staying there for a long time. God almighty, I need to sit down. Oh, wait, I am. But yeah, look, in an absolute very quick look, what do you think of this? This is going to be a lot of fun. Now, I will be focusing a lot more on the tutorial stuff, how the systems work and how to actually do it properly. It comes with quite a detailed manual of how to, how everything works. And again, let's look at the night lighting. I mean, it's fantastic, isn't it? So we have these primary and secondary lights. So we can turn these off. We have some dome lights here if you want, or turn the thing completely down and you just have your main dials. It's very, very pretty indeed. And from this view, flying along, well, that's what your night lighting is going to look like. Have to do one last thing just to show you how mad and cool this looks. See this top tip light thingy? Well, we'll turn them on. Look at this. Isn't that absolutely mad looking? Immediately take off and see what happens. There we go. Look at this! It's just mad looking. It's like something out of Cyberpunk or something. Isn't it mad, lads? So we'll let our way forward. This is very dark, isn't it? Lower these gadgets. Yes, yes. Now we're moving forward. What's your altitude? Bring the landing gear in. Speed is coming up. Look at that. Isn't it mad looking? It's fantastic. It's so strange. And you can actually turn these on in the back if you didn't want them on the front. Look. Where's the gadget? Tilt rotor. Put them on the back. So if you go to the back of the aircraft, there they are there, look. It's so strange and wonderful looking. So what's our speed doing here? 240? Excellent. Oh Jesus, hang on. Go ahead and put the rotors straight forward. And we'll put these back onto the top. Yes. And I'll show you another view from the outside here as we're absolutely booting it going forward, right? Bring our power back a small bit. Look at that. Brighten it up here just to give you a better view of what's happening in the scene. I mean, isn't that mad looking? So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. It is just an early look of what to expect from the upcoming Osprey from Miltech Simulations. They've also been building this thing with Muradi, who previously released this aircraft back in FSX and P3D. I've no indication on the price, but as I said, it's coming very, very soon into Microsoft Flight Simulator. I think you guys are going to have an absolute ball with this. If you do like this video, do be sure to smash the thumbs up button. If you like this sort of content, let me know that we can continue this series all about the Osprey. And until the next video, you guys take care.